Napansin nyo ba mga tol, no, nitong mga nakaraan, no, matapos nga magbigay ng pahayag itong Prime Minister ng Japan about doon sa China and Taiwan is masyado nang naging maingay o masyadong naging vocal itong China about dito sa Japan mga tol, no? Na tila baga meron silang matinding kinakabahan o kinakatakutan mga kapatid, no, dito sa Japan. Alamin natin to mga tol, samahan ninyo ako.
I'm just a young nigga chillin' on it. First time I seen ice was a
Alright mga kapatid, welcome ulit sa ating bagong video, reaction, review, commentary, opinion, criticism at kung ano-ano pa, no? So merong video dito sa YouTube mula rito sa China Observer. Sabi rito, China panics after seeing Japan's ace. To Japan, China's Navy is like running naked. Naku po. Para daw sa Japan, etong China's Navy is parang tumatakbo ng nakahubad. Alamin natin to mga kapatid, pag-usapan natin at bigyan natin to ng reaction and commentary. Okay, samahan ninyo ko. Pero bago natin to simulan, syempre huwag niyong kalimutan mag-subscribe. Click nyo na rin ang notification bell para ma-notify kayo whenever na may mga bago tayong reaction video tulad nito. At syempre kung ikaw naman ay nanonood sa ating Facebook page, huwag nyo rin kalimutan mag-follow and like. Maraming salamat. Nasa 154,000 na po tayo. At salamat sa ating mga bagong followers. Okay, so wag na natin patagalin pa. Panoorin na natin to mga tol.
Why has the Chinese government been so vocal about Japan recently? On the surface, it seems like the wolf warrior diplomacy is back. But actually, it's because late at night, they've done the math, and the results gave them a cold sweat.
Actually, ibang uri kasi tong nilalang tong bagong Prime Minister ng Japan kung titignan mo, no. Babae siya. Pero dito talaga nagsimula. Matagal na mga tol. Merong, alam mo na, hindi magandang history kasi ang Japan at saka ang China. Tulad natin, 'di ba, Pilipinas, meron din tayong hindi magandang history dito sa Japan at marami pa rin mga kapatid sa ating mga kababayan ang hindi pa rin nakaka-move on diyan. Maraming mga humihingi pa rin ng hustisya. Lalong-lalo na yung mga naabuso talaga nung Hapon noong panahon ng ikalawang digmaang pandaigdig. Kasi mga tol, sinakop tayo ng mga Hapon kung naaalala ninyo yun. Pero syempre, naka-move on na tayo. Marami sa ating mga kababayan naka-move on na. In fact, mga kapatid, malaking tulong ngayon sa atin ng Japan dahil nagbibigay talaga sila ng tulong sa atin pagdating sa usapin ng depensa. Pero etong China, mga tol, mukhang hindi pa rin sila nakakalimot sa nakaraan. At paulit-ulit nilang ibinabalik yun.
For years, they've been boasting about having the second strongest military in the world and a shipbuilding navy. But when they come up against Japan's silent yet formidable military-industrial base, they might not even stand a chance.
Nako.
The U.S. military's top weapon, used specifically to counter the J-20, is the F-35. Its composite materials, key avionic modules, and even Asia's only final assembly and checkout line are all running at full speed in Japanese factories. This means that while China's J-20 is still struggling with its engine life and still relying on reverse engineering to make do, Japan isn't just able to buy an F-35. Japan can build it, repair it, fix it quickly, and supply it wherever needed.
Iba naman kasi talagang klase ang teknolohiya ng Japan, mga tol. Pagdating sa technology ng Japan, no issue at wala ka nang tatanungin pa eh. 'Di ba? Halimbawa, Japan maglabas ng bagong sasakyan, yan, made in Japan. Okay na yan, matibay yan, 'di ba?
And that's why Beijing can't sleep at night. It's not just about facing an air force, it's about facing the whole military-industrial system.
J-20 is just a showpiece. Japan has F-35 production line. Itong J-20 kasi sa China to eh.
The J-20 is just a showpiece. Japan has F-35 production lines. While the J-20 is indeed in service with 200 to 300 planes, the real question is, how many hours do these planes actually fly each year? How long can their engines hold up under high thrust? How many times have the pilots truly participated in close-to-real combat joint training? The moment you ask these questions, the Chinese side goes silent. According to sources from the military-industrial system, the biggest issue with the J-20 remains unresolved. The domestic engine barely meets the standards. It's unstable and has a shockingly short lifespan.
Yun nga lang, di ba? Narinig niyo yung mga sinasabi. Yun kasi talaga ang issue ngayon, mga tol, dito sa sa mga eroplano ng China. Kasi nga talagang masasabi mong hindi sila ganun kasubok pa eh.
Stealth coating is delicate, ages quickly, and the maintenance costs are sky high. What's the direct consequence of this? Every time the J-20 is deployed, it has to be serviced afterward. If it actually fought a few rounds of high-intensity aerial combat, a batch of them would end up grounded.
Nako.
This explains the fact that even though there are hundreds of J-20s, you almost never see them in the Taiwan Strait or the East China Sea. It's not that they don't want to show it. It's just that it's too fragile to be put on display.
So sa madaling salita, hindi sila reliable. No, etong mga eroplanon to.
Now look at Japan. Their approach is the complete opposite. The F-35 final assembly line is located in Aichi Prefecture at Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. They control every part of the process, how the composite materials are layered, how to maintain them, how avionics modules are integrated and tested, and the full assembly, calibration, and flight test process. Japan has full industrial control over the entire F-35 production. What does this mean for Japan? They know exactly where the plane is most likely to have problems. They know how to replace parts and repair it quickly. They know how to move maintenance to combat mode during wartime. If war breaks out, with U.S. authorization, Japan's entire automotive and heavy industry production lines could switch over to military production in just a few weeks. Wartime maintenance would be handled in-house, and if necessary, battle-damaged F-35s could be sent to the front lines in an accelerated pace.
Yung F-35, ito yung American fighter jet to. Pero ang production line pala niya is sa Japan, sabi rito mga tol. So hindi kailangan bumili ng Japan nito kasi kaya nilang gumawa ng sarili nilang ganito.
This is the real gap in war potential. It's not about who has more planes on paper, but who has the capability to keep those planes flying. Now let's talk about human resources.
Yun ang usapan hindi paramihan ng eroplano, kung di sino yung may kakayanan na paliparin to ng matagal na panahon o paliparin to ng reliable, kumbaga nang hindi ka mag-aalalang masisira. Sino yung may kakayanan? No? Kung kayo tatanungin, sa tingin nyo ba natapatan na ng China ang teknolohiya ng Japan?
In terms of pilots, the gap is even more brutal.
Nako.
Japan, after decades of the Cold War, has consistently worked with the U.S. military for interception and air defense drills. Japanese pilots graduate from flight school and are immediately trained to NATO standards. On the other hand, the Chinese military, despite its hard training for near-real combat in recent years, has never fought a real modern, high-intensity air superiority battle in the 70-plus years since the founding of the People's Republic.
Oh, so yun yung gap nila. No, hindi lang sa eroplano ang malayo ang diferensya. Pati mismo dun sa mga piloto, 'di ba? Kung babalikan natin yung sinabi rito, yung mga Japanese pilot daw, graduate sa flight academy o sa eskwelahan talaga tapos nagsanay under NATO standard, talagang lumaban sila. Pero dito mga tol, sa China is walang karanasan yung mga piloto nila sa aktual na labanan talaga, sa high intensity na bakbakan talaga. Wala silang karanasan na gano'n na paliparin yung mga eroplano nila. Mula pa man noong pinakahuling labanan na kinasangkutan nila mga tol.
The last significant naval battle took place in 1974 in the Paracel Islands, where small gunboats tossed grenades at each other. In terms of logistical support, combat experience, and joint operation systems, Japan speaks the same language as the U.S. military, while the Chinese military is still adjusting within its own forces. This is why the government compound at Zhongnan High is especially afraid of Japan having an F-35 production line. They know very well that if a war breaks out and they can't take Japan down in the first wave, once the conflict drags on and the battle shifts to industry and logistics, China's chances of winning become nearly non-existent.
Nako. Kaya pala ayaw nila, no? Kaya pala masyado silang vocal sa Japan at natatakot sila kasi nga alam nila mga tol kung gaano kabagsik din tong mga Hapon eh. Biruin mo yung mga F-35 pala ng Amerika dito ginagawa sa Japan mismo, no? So alam talaga nila yung teknolohiya. Alam nilang gumawa ng sarili nila. Hindi katulad nitong sa kabilang banda umaasa sila doon sa reverse engineering. Lumaasa sila doon sa mga details na makukuha nila, 'di ba? Mga kumakalat na tinitiktikan daw, iniispayan daw para makuha yung mga detalye ng teknolohiya para malaman o makopya nila. Pero dito sa Japan mga tol, sila mismo yung gumagawa, nasa kanila yung production line, kaya alam nila mga tol kung paano gawin. Sabi nga ganun, kung sakasakali magkaroon ng trouble, yung production line na yan is pwedeng gawin agad o i-turn agad sa military production mga tol na magagamit na agad nila.
This is the real reason their rhetoric is getting louder. In the eyes of the
Japanese, the Chinese fleet is running naked. Sa mata ng mga Hapon.
Japanese, the Chinese fleet is running naked. In recent years, China has been launching ships like the 052D and 055 destroyers at a rapid pace. The Chinese media keep shouting, Asia's strongest fleet. But if you were to ask the Japanese forces, what do these ships look like to you, the answer would be brutally honest. They're just moving coffins that we can see clearly.
Ooh.
The logic is simple. The moment the Chinese Navy fires up its ships at port, they're already showing up on sonar screens in the Sea of Japan. The battle hasn't even started, but their position, course, speed, and numbers are already displayed neatly on the enemy's command center screen, almost completely transparent. How does Japan have this ability? It's simple. They've learned through practice. The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force has spent decades doing one thing, guarding the US military and closely monitoring Soviet submarines, and later Chinese ones. After 50 years, Japan knows every ocean current and every thermocline in the Pacific Ocean better than they know the palm of their hand.
Oh, so na-master na ng Japan yun.
They have a database on every major Chinese ship's propeller sounds and engine vibration frequencies. The moment a Chinese 55 destroyer fires up its propellers and starts spinning in port, Japan's submarines lurking in distant seas know exactly what's happening.
Alam na agad nila.
Some people might argue, if Japan can see China's fleet, doesn't China also see Japan's? Yes, on the surface, everyone can see the ships. There are satellites in the sky and radars on land. If it's just about seeing surface vessels, it's a fair match. But the real winner in this battle isn't on the surface, it's
Nasa
underwater. Japan's submarines can easily detect Chinese submarines, but Chinese submarines can't find Japanese ones.
Grabe. Kakaiba tong submarine ng Hapon ibang itsura no?
Imagine this scenario. A Chinese submarine is hit by a torpedo. Its hull cracks and starts sinking. At that moment, the commander still wouldn't know who hit them or where it came from. As for surface vessels, they're even easier targets for submarines. Some may claim that Japan should not be elevated in such a way, arguing that the Chinese military has anti-submarine capabilities. The 055 has towed sonar, and there are anti-submarine helicopters in the air, so why can't they detect Japan's submarines? The reality is that while such equipment exists, it's not sufficient. The reason is simple. Anti-submarine warfare involves more than just having the right tools. Japan's submarines are exceptionally quiet. The latest Taiji class, using lithium batteries, is so silent it has earned the nickname Oceanic Black Hole among professionals. How quiet is it? The noise level is so low it blends with the background noise of the ocean. To Chinese sonar operators, all they hear is the sound of waves, fish, and currents, making it impossible to tell which is Japan's submarine.
Yun ang kakaiba dun sa Japan submarine. Hindi sila nadedetect. No, dahil sa sobrang tahimik nung kanilang submarine mga tol, hindi sila nadedetect kahit ng radar o ng kung anumang equipment meron ng China. So mahihirapan silang madetect kung asan yung Japanese submarine.
Against such an opponent, the sonar system becomes mere decoration. What's even more fatal is that Japan knows the hydrology, topography, and sea conditions of the first island chain. They're familiar with the salinity and thermocline layers in the area. Sonar waves can bend and refract in water, and Japanese submarine captains know exactly at which depth to hide so that sonar waves will slide right past them, leaving the submarine undetected. In the Western Pacific, Japan knows exactly where the pits are and where they can hide. The Chinese Navy, however, is a newcomer, blindly navigating through unfamiliar underwater environments. As for anti-submarine helicopters, Japanese submarine captains think they're just an alarm. The helicopter hasn't even arrived yet, and the submarine has already heard it and is gone. By the time you drop the sonar buoy, the submarine is already far away, hiding.
Ganun pala katindi ang submarine ng Japan, no? So masasabi mo nga talaga itong Japan mga tol, bagamat na natalo sila 'di ba ng Amerika nung World War II. Pero mga tol, kahit na nagkaroon sila ng kasunduan syempre ng Amerika na hindi na sila makikisangkot sa kahit na anumang gera, 'di ba? Pero hindi nila napabayaan yung kanilang teknolohiya, no? Hindi nga tayo magugulat baka may tinatago ng Gundam yan. Pero mga tol, dito makikita natin iba pa rin talaga yung technology ng Japan. Pwede mo nga sabihin na talaga sila yung the sleeping giant, no?